Today we are creating a to-do list app using closures. Now let us understand what is meant by closure. Closure is nothing but a function inside the another function. Now see my code. To-do list is an arrow function. Inside the to-do list function, there are so many functions. Add, mark as completed, overdue. So this is closures. So why you are using closures in JavaScript? Closures are used for state management and encryption of data. In the inner function can access the variables of the outer scope. So now let us take add function. S- Add function can access the variables of all array to do items. What are the items stored in all? It can access the add function. Now let us understand the clauses with some small example. This is a small example to understand the clauses. So I created a function called numbers. Inside the numbers, I can also add another function called num. So what is meant? What the num function can do? The num function can access the variables of the outer function scope. So it can access the variable of count 0. Um, you can return the inner function. You can assign the variable of the outer function calling. Whenever you can console.log of outer function, it will return the one. It will if you console.log of b, it will return 1, and another time you can call, it will return 2, and another time you can call, return 3. So this way you can call the variables, it will return the count. So now let's move my code. All what is meant by what is here can do. An all holds all to do items. This variable to the to-do list function and is not direct access to outside. It cannot be accessed the outside. It can be accessed the instead of the to-do list. Now let us we can assign this array in the outside of the to-do list function. It cannot access. So it is not by global state. So it is in local scope. So it can access inside within the function. Now we are using the methods add, mark as completed, overdue, due date, and due later. These are all clauses because there are access the variable because they can access to all array. These are all clauses because they can access the variables of the all. What can add function can do? Add function adds a new to do item to all the array to all array. Then the to do item in this to do item is an parameter is an object. Parameter is an object containing title, due date, and property. Complete property. Now let's see that one. Here is one of the title, due date, and completed. The to do item contains these properties. So all that push, you can push the items into the to do all. Now let us what the mark as completed can work. Mark as to do items as complete the setting completed property as true. Whenever the to do items as completed, the property then by the complete property as true. The completed property as true, the to do item can be marked completed. So now let's move the overdue. The overdue function can do the filters the to do items. It can filters the to do items that have a due date earlier than the current date. Due date earlier than the current date. How can you get the current date? You can get the current date by using this function. New date of toString of dot split of 0. You can get the current date by using this one. So if the current date is If due date earlier than current date, it can works on overdue. Next, what can due date can do? Due date, same thing. Due date can filter the to-do items that are due date. And when the due date is equal to the current date, you already know that how can you get the current date? Using this one, you can get the current date. If the current date is equal to due date, and it will show the due date and due letter. This is similar to the overdue and due date. Nothing but the due date is greater than current date. It will shows the due letter. Shows the due letter. You are also already aware of that. How can you get the current date? Okay. These are similar. Overdue and due date and due letter. These three are similar. Nothing but overdue, due date less than today, and due date is equal to today, today is greater than today. These are the differences of these three functions. Now let's move to the display label list. What can do the display label list? The display label list convert a list of to-do items into the readable string format. Convert list of items into the converted to-do items dot complete x of x. Due date. You can also be aware of that what due date dot strings of list of 0 comma due date. You can get the current date and also you can get the to do dot item. This is all about display label list. For completion of this one, you can return the inside functions. You can return the inside functions, and also you can assign a variable of the outer function. Constant today is equal to to do list of. You can assign a variable. For that one, this this line this line create the instance of the to-do list object by calling the to-do list function. To-do list function. Okay, and this is one. You can add the items like submit assignment, due date, rest date completed. These are all the necessary data. So this is meant by this is you can work out the to-do list app using closes. You already for this video I can for in this video you can create a to-do list app using closes. Once again, closes is nothing but function inside the another function. The inner function can access the variables of the outer scope. That's all. We are using the closes for state management and encryption of data. Encryption of data nothing means private data. You cannot show the data and it can be stored as in private. You can whenever you can accessible you can use that data. So this is closures in JavaScript. Thank you very much.